Congratulations to the World Development Team on that very comprehensive victory, 25-24, 1-2-8 So the two matches down here in the Devonport Oval, 2 more to go and round 5 of the NWFL football. And while we have already run out on the ground and gone again, so looking forward to this match against the Wynyard Cats. As I mentioned earlier, the pretty green ones from last year, we're a very, very strong winning team for a number of years. And Devonport, wildly quick, certainly on the rise. So we look forward to this matchup, which will be followed then by the ELS Mechanical senior men at 5:30 against last year's grand final opponent, the Wynyard Cats. As the umpires make their way off, round of applause please to the umpires, the North West Umpires Association. They do a great job every week, out the umpires and simply wouldn't be able to operate. As I think it's around today, we've got Loki from Bombshell Coffee down the northern end of the ground. The Valentino team runners warmed up, ready to go as things start to cool down here at the Devonport Oval. So get down there and support Valentino teams because they're invaluable sponsors of the Devonport Footy Club. That's on and City Six is still open, as there is the can bar and the John Devonport Country Centre bar facilities inside. Well done, Johnny Clark, walking up on his 150th club game. Kick the goal, great job. Great enough, grab all the boys got behind him, so well done to the World Development team. Great camaraderie teammateship there, great job. Good luck to both teams, and as always, go Bucks.
Hello and welcome to Devonport Oval for round 6 NWFL women's action. Bo Down and Andrew Cooling in the commentary box with you to drive you home with this game. It's currently a third versus third matchup as it sits. Wynyard, the top team as it stands at the moment. Devonport looking to get their fourth win of the year. Andrew Cooling, this one's shaping up to be a good game. Two good teams. Devonport 3 wins, 1 loss, and Wynyard with 3 wins. So I think if Devonport wins today, they might go on the top of the ladder, although percentage is very, very big. So whoever wins today will move up to 4 wins, and I'd assume they'd go onto the top of the ladder. Andrew, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Bo. Yeah, 2 of the top 3 teams in the comp here today. I think Penguin and Wynyard probably regarded as the competition's top 2, with Devonport kind of knocking on the door below them, and a chance to show that they're in that same echelon of teams here today. We'll see if they can rise to the challenge up against a strong Wynyard side, but looking forward to what should be a pretty good battle. Certainly Devonport players are raring to go as the Wynyard side prepare to break from their huddle, but really looking forward to seeing this one, and pretty good conditions it looks like.
Yeah, it does look like some good conditions up there at Devonport. Last week, Wynyard 12-13, 85, defeated Burnie, didn't score all game. Davis, the big 7 goals last week, wheeling with 2. Devonport, a 138-point drubbing against Latrobe. They're yet to score a point this year, so let's see if next week it's their week. But Sarah Skinner kicks 6, Whitwell with 3, and Morris with 3. So a couple of big names in that midfield. Skinner, of course, the state captain. So really looking forward to seeing how this one goes this afternoon, Drewy. And looks like Anderson will be in the ruck for the Magpies. And just trying to figure out who it is for. Sophie Johnson. So there you go. It'll be first versus third clash. I'll let you take it underway, Drewy.
Empire holds the ball aloft, and the players prepare to do battle. Johnson with the first hit out through the hands, though, of French. Following up at ground level, Johnson just paddles it into space. There was Anderson. The umpire says, I'll have it. Tosses it back. The ruck's doing battle once more. Coming through was Humphreys, flicked a handball out, but to the opposition, and here's Parker sending Devonport forward for the first time this afternoon. Pressure comes from Aspen Orton, flicked a handball back inside. The prolific Olivia Smith onto that one. Just did enough to get it away in time. Orton stripped of the football. Handball back into dispute, towed off the deck by Johnson. Just moving it along the ground here. Eventually, the umpire says, I'll have it. So another stoppage here for Anderson and Johnson. Neither ruck able to get it. Johnson follows up at ground level. Wrestle away for it. Unable to get clear. Here's the prolific Skinner. Another ball up.
Anderson in the ruck. Johnson as well. Anderson winning this tap down off the hands of a couple. Skinner in there early. Just got bowled over. Strong tackle laid there by Tuxworth. Had a good week last week. Did Bailey Tuxworth. Anderson fisting this one out of the vicinity and trying to tap onto it there was Saville. She couldn't quite get it. Now Smith gets the clearance right to this commentary side wing as we tap this on to Wiley. Wiley now, camera side ring, I should say, as this one is out. Ahern, 100 games earlier in the year. For her, she'll be getting that free kick. I think the beneficiary of the last touch rule. So Ahern to drill them near the arc of the 50 will bounce in the favour of Knight, but again mopping up there is Tuxworth. She's been here, there and everywhere. Gets the hand pass received, but only as far as Mia Morris. Had a couple of goals last week. Morris can wheel around on that right, but the kick was scrubby and didn't really work out. It goes out to Tuxworth. Tuxworth needs to look out because she's run down. Zoe Knight with a strong tackle.
Yeah, good work there from Knight. Wins the free kick. Second time they've been able to prevent Wynyard bouncing off half back, and now Knight will send them inside 50. Almost bringing it down Whitwer. Towed wide, Sarah Skinner. She's always dangerous. Skinner gets the handball away. A couple of good handballs, and then Whitwer snaps, but right on the line playing goalkeeper was the experienced Jess Whelan, star of this defensive unit, and protects the goals there. Floated a kick to Smith, who'd worked hard to peel out and give her the option. Gets it moving quickly to French, but she is stripped of it by Ahern, who wins another free kick, and they're going to pump this one right back inside the forward 50. Called to play on. Ahern with a high set-up kick towards the paint of 50. Getting back in the way was Barley Tuxworth. She's been busy early. Across to Humphreys. Humphreys tumbles one out of there. Anderson got a hand in the way. Johnson just went off the deck. That was a good idea because ahead of the ball, Patterson took an unkind bounce for her, though. Arcs back the other way, and she's beaten to it by Wells. Wells works it up towards Tuxworth. Wicks battles away. Tuxworth locks it in. That'll be a ball up.
So Wicks being taken in that tackle. Anderson and Johnson, that'll be a match-up to watch, that's for sure. The two big bustling ruckmen. Tapped down there by Johnson, flicked it behind, but Morris was good. Flicked it off to Skinner, kick inside forward 50, but again, the Wynyard defence standing up, and they're going to play on, I think it might be Ewington, but just had a fresh airy. Nice pressure displayed there by Devonport. There was a hand pass from Hodge, which wasn't brilliant, and Ewington will lay a tackle. Be a ball up in the centre square.
Like that from Ewington. Made a mistake with the kick, but followed it up.
Yeah, very good point. She had a good week last week as well. I think all of them did, because it was an 85-point win, but they'll try and get another win here today. Skinner will be taken in that tackle. She'll be a beneficiary of a free kick. Always playing in those fluoro yellow boots. Hard to miss. Sarah Skinner makes it easier for us to identify her as they go forward once more. The tap down from Hodge. Morris bursts out with a little bit of speed right to the teeth of goal, about 20 metres out. Fresh area there was from Stone, and good tackle laid on Knight. We'll see a ball up, not too far out from goal.
Pressing early here, Devonport. One down in the direction of Morris. There's the football, had to get rid of it quickly, coughed it straight up to Radford. It's a firm tackle laid by Morris, following up her efforts. Johnson able to go unopposed, just forces it over the top. Skinner just strips French of the football, and it spills out the way of Ahern, who skips around one, straightens up, won't kind of have the journey on it, pitches into the pocket. Out after this one is Stone. She's able to skip clear of Knight. Steadies herself and then probes down the wing with a left football out in front of Tuxworth, who gives a good chase but couldn't quite make the connection there with the volley. She'll follow up here and grab it. Now she can swing a handball through to Hardy. Hardy just left it behind, so she too goes off the deck. Follows up her own work, presenting up the footballs. Moody, umpire spots something and says Moody with a grab of the jumper has conceded the free kick. Chance for Devonport to reload.
So Devonport at half back. What can they conjure up here as a stabbing kick goes forward, just bursting through the hands there of Whelan. Smith mopping up and driving them forward once more, but only as far as Sarah Skinner, coming off 6 snags last week. One of the premier players in this competition, if not the premier, as they go out forward, hits up a teammate. It's Hodge. Hodge now goes out wide to Wiley, just spilt the beans, but had enough time to regroup and slap it on the boot, but it only rolled as far as Humphries. Humphries with the kick in the middle of the ground. Overrunning it was Hardy. Nice pick up and go from Wynyard. There was a big collision as soon as she kicked that one. It might be downfield. Short. Right. Yeah, free kick downfield to Ella Moody, who is going to look to get her first of the day and the first of the match. Moody's a goal-scoring machine, coming off a couple last week. A lot of star power in both of these teams, it must be said. Ella Moody, one of them. The number 22. Distance may be a problem, but it'll be about 45 metres out. Moody looks pretty good off the boot. Won't quite make the distance. Tap came out there from Orton. And she'll try and pick this one up. She does. Hand pass back. A little bit of help came from Cleaver, hugging the boundary, but inboard hand pass wasn't good. Moody tried to strip of it. Tackling her there was Harding, and we'll see a ball up deep inside forward 50.
So the Cats inside 50 on the attack for the first time this afternoon here, trying to find the game's first goal. Some firepower down there to contend with. Harding doing the ruck work, coming away with it. Moody, her kick was charged down. Chance to clear here for Devonport, and they do so up towards the middle of the ground. Ball to be won, cleverly slapped over the top. Just bustled off the football. Good work from Piper Humphries, but plenty of numbers in there in support. They'll lock it in for Hodge, the captain of this Devonport side. Anderson beaten by Johnson, but Devonport had come away with the football. Saville puts up a handball. That's a great tackle and rewarded. Red hot, the umpire there. They'll resist very quickly. Johnson given the free kick. She'll look to send Wynyard forward here. Ruck sends them inside the forward 50 off the hands of Patterson. Handball landed in the path of Wells, who searches out Hodge. Hodge holds up, waits for a few runners to get forward of the football for her, and then lofts one up towards the Arca 50. Went looking for Knight, couldn't quite reel it in. Defending is Brian. Knight following up. Brian strips her of the football. That's the umpire seen there. He's going to give a free kick to Finlay Bryan. So Wynyard will go off half back again. Bryan stabs it into the middle of the ground. It's a good kick that finds Moody pushing up the ground. Moody. Wide ball, that's another good ball. Finds Smith, so some good ball use here from the Cats. They work their way up the ground. Smith can send them inside forward 50 now. Has a dash and just breezes past the player on the mark and sends them deep inside 50. Oh, dropping it was Bramich. It was great ball movement to get it to her. Bramich then cleverly just toes it to a dangerous area. Big chance here off the ground for Davis. And she picks up where she left off last week and kicks the first of the afternoon. Charlie Davis.
Yeah, good surge there by Wynyard. He did very, very well just to get inside that forward 50 and make something of it. Davis, as you said, Drewy, coming off 7 goals last week. So, as you said, picked up where she left off, rather. And it's the first of the day, going the way of Wynyard. So back into the middle now. Anderson and Johnson do the ruck battle. Johnson tapping this one down. Brilliant stuff to Smith. Flicking the hand pass off and going. It's a high kick inside forward 50. Bramich nearly reeling this one in. Tapped on was good from Hardy, and it was a throw.
Good call from the umpire.
They've been hot on it to start with. So you see this kick go to the wing. Out in front was B. Wicks and couldn't quite make anything of it. It'll be a ball up, not too far away from the goal, or 50 rather, for the Cats. Johnson using an undermanned opponent. Kick from Smith into the half-forward flank. Numbers and Wiley will do good, but taking in the tackle. It'll be a throw in. Maybe a ball up instead.
That'll be tossed up at half forward for the Cats. Johnson, the tap down off a couple of hands, landed in the path of Moody. Moody sets it up to a dangerous area. Lurking is Davis. She's got one already. She turns, burns off a defender and makes it two. Charlie Davis has started hot here, and Wynyard have the first 2 of the ball game.
Yeah, again, Davis. I mean, how are they going to stop her? I would have put a bit of work into her, I would have thought, this week. But, I mean, just that sheer speed. I mean, she was able to run around her opponent quite easily. And, I mean, she's on red-hot form already. Is Charlie Davis. So, first 2 of the game going the way of Wynyard. Devonport yet to score a goal. Back on neutral terms, though, in the middle. And they try conjure something up, or will Wynyard get the clearance and try surge forward again? Hodge and Johnson. Johnson down to Smith. Brilliant ruck craft to her teammate. Coming out to meet it was Hardy. Nice little tap on there. I think it was from Radford. And stripped of the football, though, is O'Halloran. Kick inside, forward 50. Who have they got? Numbers are even. Bramich out the back and size up the goals for her first. Right to the teeth. Davis impacts the mark. Last line of defence, though, was Harding. It'll be a ball up. Not too far out from goal. Nearly taking that mark was Harding. So waiting for, but not be an injury.
Just on the corner of the screen there, we can see Smith Gillard struggling. Injury there. Hopefully nothing serious, but unable to get back to her feet at the moment. She's not a good sign. It was crossed for her.
Hot start by the Cats, Stewie. I mean, Davis again. I don't know how they'll stop it. She's 9 goals in 2 games, and that's just to start off the first quarter. So have to put a little bit of time into her. Maybe they might be able to regroup Devonport defence and just try to come up with something.
They got to stop them walking out of the middle, which they've done for the past 5 minutes. Johnson and Smith are really starting to get on top in the middle of the ground, and they're just giving them really good one-on-one looks. Imogen Bramich looks a threat every time it comes towards her, but the speed at which the ball's coming in, you're going to get those isolated one-on-ones, and they've got so many weapons down there. And Devonport aren't going to be able to contain him if it keeps coming in like it has for the last 5 or 6 minutes. They started the game really well, Devonport, but just couldn't get anything in their own forward 50 arc. Wynyard have looked far more dangerous, and unfortunately for Devonport, looks like they're now going to have to do this without Samantha Gillard, as we see the stretcher coming out for her for a knee or a leg injury there, which is not what you like to see. Fingers crossed with her making a recovery. Hopefully nothing will keep her out too long, but from bad to worse in the last few minutes here for the home side.
Yeah, Bramich, I think, is going to have to play a little bit more of an unselfish role. I mean, her and Davis combined down forward are 2 big key forwards, but I mean, she played an unselfish role last week again, Bramich. She let Davis really have a lot of the limelight, but Davis also last week had a good unselfish tendency. When she had the football, she probably could have kicked 9 or 10, Drewy, but she was good to hand the ball off in some really dangerous positions. So, I mean, that's another watch as well. I mean, Davis and Bramich, but I mean, down forward for Devonport, probably Skinner might be able to roll down there, but again, like you said, they have to really win it in the midfield. They've just been rolling out of the clearance and sending them inside forward 50. So it'll be an interesting watch to see how that midfield group can go. Morris and Wicks in there. Obviously Skinner, as we mentioned, Ahern might drift through there at times, and Hodge in the ruck as well. So I mean, interesting matchups all around the park for mine.
Just about ready for a restart as Samantha Gillard stretch it off. That's what you like to see here early on, so all the best for her. Hopefully nothing too long term, but it's looking great with the stretcher coming on there. So yeah, the teammates need to pick themselves up and go, all right, we've got a game to be played and won here. Always tough when you've seen a teammate go down and stretch it off mentally, and a few minutes before the quarter time break here, and a situation to defend. They've got to be switched on immediately here. Davis is going to do the ruck work against Hodge, who clears the ball away for Devonport. It's up towards Parker. Parker takes the tackle on. Bad option. Johnson got up. Holding the footy. That's a couple she stuck. Sophie Johnson. Ruck making a couple stick early on. Skinner got back in the way and broke up that play. Still a danger though. Trying to skip free is Davis. Gets a kick away from heavy traffic. How will it bounce? Stood up. Might bounce all right for Bramich to get a play on it. Oh, left behind there by Harding. Invites Bramich back in. They fight to a draw and it'll be tossed up in the forward pocket.
Again, Davis going near the teeth of goal. Nearly got there in the end, it must be said, as we go back and tap down. Skinner, last sign of defence. Wanted to rush it over, but this is dangerous. Moody slaps it on the boot and goals. Moody gets her first. Skinner just had to get it over the line somehow. She slapped it. She nearly got it there, but Moody was happy just to snap that one up and kick a goal for her first. So 3 goals now to Wynyard. And it's been pretty tough out there for Devonport. I mean, haven't had too many entries inside forward 50, but if you just watch here, Skinner really had to tap it over. That's all she could do. She tried and just fell over at the end. She tried to pick it up, in fact, and Moody was all over that.
Then got clobbered by Hardy.
Yeah.
Look at that. Bang. Hits her with the bump as well. Salt in the wounds. I'm not sure if... I assume time on would have been blown with that stretcher incident, so I think we've probably got more than 10 seconds left in the quarter, but 100% sure. We'll find out in a second anyways. Wynyard threatening to score another one here as they surge it forward once more. Devonport under pressure at the back, trying to get rid of it. Compass. Smith shepherded. Shut down there by Ahern, who blazes a kick out of defence. Bounces in the path of Skinner. Brings it under a spell, but it's a great tackle from Tuxworth. Just denied of the handball, locked one hand up and made it really difficult for Sarah Skinner. That's great tackling technique there from Tuxworth. Sends it inside forward 50 again, but ill-directed straight to Grace Wells. So able to take the intercept and perhaps just settle things down for Devonport. And there is the siren. So a good first quarter for Wynyard. 3 goals straight. They started a little slowly, but once they got that first goal from Davis, they got right on rolling. They have a handy 17-point break here at quarter time. Handballs and then Whitworth snaps, but right on the line playing goalkeeper was the experienced Jess Whelan. Would come away with the football. Saville picked up a handball. That's a great tackle and rewarded. Inside 50. Oh, dropping it was Bramich. It was great ball movement to get it to her. Bramich then cleverly just toes it to a dangerous area. Big chance here off the ground for Davis. And she picks up where she left off last week and kicks the first of the afternoon. One already, she turns, burns off a defender and makes it 2. Charlie Davis has started hot here and Wynyard have the first 2 of the ball game.
Yeah, again, Davis. I mean, how are they going to... Even Bramich out the back and size up the goals for her first, right to the teeth. Davis impacts the mark. Last sign of defence, though, was Harding. It'll be a ball.
It's up towards Parker. Parker takes the tackle on. Bad option. Johnson got up. Holding the footy. That's a
as we go back. And tap down. Skinner, last sign of defence. Wanted to rush it over, but this is dangerous. Moody slaps it on the boot and goals. Moody gets her first. Skinner just had to get it over the line somehow. She slapped it. She nearly got it there, but Moody was happy just to snap that one up and kick a goal for her first. So 3 goals now.
So back for quarter number 2 at Devonport Oval. The hosts down by 17 points. Wynyard really got on top as quarter 1 developed. It's going from bad to worse for Devonport with Samantha Gillard stretch it off late in the term to boot. So they've got some work to do to turn this one around. And it starts in the middle where Sophie Johnson and Olivia Smith really got on top in that first term, and Devonport to curtail their influence a bit. They're going to get themselves back into it. And their ace in Sarah Skinner at her best. Now the middle start winning a few clearances, give their forward some opportunities. They did start the game pretty well, and you'd really work their way on top, and deserving leaders prepare to go in the second term. Anderson up against Johnson in the ruck as we're underway. Johnson immediately with a decisive tap. Skinner able to shark the tap though, then tries the don't argue, and Tuxworth dished it out, and they work it forward, just cleverly paddled forward there by Ahern. Smart play, Knight couldn't bring it under a spell. Well defended by Pay, spins out the back, getting a hand in there, and then buffeted it over was Bryan. Gets back up and gets the ball though, clears the defensive 50. Just trying to apply the shepherd was Radford. B. Wicks grabs it, but she's immediately wrapped up by Bramich. And by toss it up middle of the ground. This quarter they the ball forward quite a bit. Devonport find a goal to show for it. Johnson has just been dominant, wins another clearance here, launches it forward, and that's a strong mark from Moody. Powerful stuff on the gun forward. Moody sends them inside 50. Off hands, roving this one. Hardy just toes it off the decks. You've got Davis in support, wouldn't sit for her. They all overrun the football in the end, and cleverly done to get the ball to Skinner, and they'll clear it on out of there. Skinner launches it, towed down the line. And the win there, ball is Knight, has some support from Ahern. Ahern's handball though straight to Tuxworth. Tuxworth over the top, pressure comes from Anderson, gathered by French. Goes backwards, Pay. Just keeps flicking it by hand. O'Halloran buffeted it off it. Trying to turn out of trouble was Knight. Handball back towards O'Halloran, and then Smith able to win it back. She missed Pay with the handball. Pay goes off the deck for Johnson. Pressure came from Anderson. And they'll force a stoppage here on the wing.
I wonder if Hovington's up. Down after that kick off the ground that was nifty to Skinner. Anderson sapping this one down, out in the advantage of a couple of players, but coming out to meet it first was her teammate in Knight. Hugging the boundary line, Ahern kicks inboard, but only as far as Smith. A nice kick in, or Whelan rather. The ball didn't quite sit for Wells, but it might sit for Bramich. It does. Nice pick up and go. High up and under, kick right out in front of Wiley. Couldn't mark it because it would have been non-15, but Moody didn't care. She's going to set on goal right to the teeth out in front of Davis. Dangerous around this area. Intelligent little tap on there from Harding. We'll see this one thrown in. She needed to get it over the boundary line. Did her job. Did Neve Harding. So it'll be a throw in deep inside forward 50 for the Cats. Looking to get the first of the term. All Cats early. Tap down from Davis, right out in front of Moody. Pushed her opponent off it and did well. Might even recollect, get this one, and miss for Moody. That's a behind, and we'll see the first minus score of the day for Wynyard.
So Harding out of fullback. Has a dash, and skies one up towards Parker. Coming in was Piper Humphreys. Whelan. Wheels and goes, and it's a dangerous looking kick in the direction of Radford. Will it sit for her? The pressure comes from Wicks, but Radford has time to gather and snap, and drifts out on the full. Quite the finish Tyre Radford was after. Devonport under pressure here. They have been for much of the contest so far. They're doing a good job shutting them down, trying to rebound out of defence. This kick up the outside 50 is straight to Smith. Not a player you want to be gifting the ball to. Smith accepts it and then sends it in, but Skinner got back in the hole, did well, not paid the mark. That's got to be a dangerous tackle, surely. Skinner absolutely slammed into the turf, and clearly worse for wear afterwards. And now Sarah Skinner unfortunately might have an injury to go with it. That was a crunching, slinging tackle. And unfortunately, Sarah Skinner looks in all sorts of trouble as a result of it. We'll have another look on the replay here. There's just a classic dump tackle. And unfortunately, that's why they are outlawed, because that can happen, Bo.
Right on the shoulder. That will sting, of course. Already one player down out there for Devonport.
They can ill afford their best player to go down as well. And walking wounded right now for Devonport. Skinner back to her feet.
Might just be winded.
Hope so for her sake.
Looks all right.
She's smiling, which is a good sign. I'm not sure how she hasn't got a free kick, mind you.
Did he not pay that, did he?
No,
that's ridiculous. That is a sling tackle every day of the week, I would have thought.
Definitely got away with that one. Anyway, action resumes.
It's up down there, right out in the path of O'Halloran. Pick up there from Hovington. She was set upon immediately, and two Cats wrap up. Orton Harding in the ruck against Davis. Davis bringing ball to ground. Humphries lurking around. Didn't get the tap down to her. Hardy, Skinner back up on her feet does well. Might get slung around again. That's just unlucky and ripped around in the tackle. It'll be a free kick going the way of Isabella Hardy. She'll have to work the angle. So it'll be a difficult kick. Hardy looking for her first. Doesn't even go. The snap stabs at it and it'll be a point. It'll be 3-2-20 now to 0-1-1.
Sarah Skinner is going to be seeing Isabella Hardy in her nightmares after the last 5 minutes. Been met first time, I would say, illegally. But the second time, that is a textbook tackle, a great tackle, but just unable to shrug forever at the moment. Negating the influence. Skinner trying to explode away through stoppages. There's a clear defensive 50 here, and Tuxworth, who started this game nicely, locks it in. Involved nearly going, Darley Tuxworth. Johnson and Anderson. Anderson just takes away a run at the football. Does the umpire see that one? Says, toss it back out. Johnson with the early leap. Skinner grabs a hold of it and then clears it round the corner. Pitches and tumbles towards the line, trying to get a hand to it to prevent the turnover. Is a Hearn, but I don't think she got there in time, did she? She didn't, so Pay. And the umpire disagrees, says she did get there in time. A bit of confusion there. So the double lines there wreaking a little bit of havoc. Unique dimensions there. The multiple lines on the boundary. As it all threatens to kick off here. Bit of spite out there at the moment,
What is going on? The umpires. Wow, interesting start to this second term as we go out to Skinner. Skinner just pushed over again. She hasn't had much luck on staying on the ground. She's been on
She got that one.
the bottom of it for most of it, and finally she gets... No, it'll be a free kick against her for being pushed in the back. So it'll be a free kick going the way of Taya Radford. She'll stab at it. A kick inside, forward 50 awaits. Moody! Nice use of the body. I'm not too sure what that free kick was for, but Moody will go even deeper, and Davis just spilt the beans, got pushed off it. Nice defensive work there by Wells. They're scrapping forward. Moody, big bump, a lot of spite out there today. These two teams don't like each other. Moody might be injured as well. Down behind play a couple. Picked up there from Orton. Flicked the hand pass off. Hat kick out there was from Wells. Moody's still down, so that might be a little bit of an injury watch. Ball bobbles out now to Johnson. They might have to stop this if they're going in the same direction. No one's seen what's happened, and someone get the umpires mic'd up because they got no clue what's going on behind them. Finally, he's going to blow the whistle. You can just see there the leg, the right leg got trapped underneath. I don't know, carnage out here.
Yeah, it's let the bodies hit the floor at the moment, unfortunately. It has been a bruising game of football, and the latest one sees Ella Moody going down, clutching a knee. And
you can't afford to lose her as well. I mean, you can't afford to lose anyone, but especially Moody, how she's looked down forward.
Just And knee absolutely clattered into. It was such an awkward position that leg ended up in. So fingers crossed for her. We've already seen Samantha Gillard stretch it off, and now perhaps Ella Moody with a similar injury.
Yeah. It doesn't look good.
So fingers crossed for her, but a bit of carnage out there in this game. It's been a very physical match, and she's getting back to her feet, which is a good sign. I'm going to put some weight on it, but we'll have to wait the prognosis there. But the stretcher not required, so that's at least a better sign than we had earlier. So yeah, it's a physical game. Absolute carnage at the moment out there.
Looks in a lot of pain. They're going down like flies here at Devonport. Hopefully she's okay. I mean, at least she can walk off, but still looks world full of hurt. That means that Hardy and the likes are going to have to take a little bit more of the load in that forward line. I mean, it wasn't a brilliant contest. I mean, sliding in, trying to put the hip to the side. It could have been dangerous for anyone. Unfortunately, she just ended up getting a leg trapped under it. Yeah, big collision. It was not brilliant. It was like a hip to hip, and then the knee getting caught under.
To be fair, she's got a player in her back driving in that direction. I don't think you can criticise the opposition too much for that one. It's one of these instances that happens in a game of football. As play back underway now, and coming from behind, almost bringing down the mark, not quite. Handball to Smith. Back into traffic. Bramich gets caught with a football, spills out. Play allowed to continue. Tuxworth, where Smith then went down without it. Play continues as it's lofted over the top park behind the football. Bryan, all on her own, has a paddock to play in here. Eventually gets closed down, then chips it back into the corridor. Finds a marking target, and they'll just settle things down here. Just happy to slow play at Sad. He's wheeling. Forced wide. Heads wider, kicks it too wide.
Yeah, ran herself into a little bit of trouble there, did Whelan. So a free kick going the way of Skinner. They're still searching for their first goal of the game. Devonport, it hasn't blown out. It's only 19 points. It's manageable, but they need to get a score. And a goal very, very quickly as Skinner stabs one to the flank. It's a good kick inside forward 50. Who have they got? But numbers favouring the Cats, and Newington out the back will take a strong defensive mark, and Whelan go again just over the hands and heads of Anderson, flicking a hand pass off to Wicks. It's an up and over kick favouring Morris. Nifty little tap down, but only as far as Smith. She got upended, and a little bit of spot in this game still. Skinner lurking around in there. Wicks, still Wicks on the bottom of the pack, and hauled up again as she looks a little bit sore as well. There'll be a few sore bodies out there, and it's only quarter number 2. Johnson, Skinner gets the clearance out in front of Whelan, socced by Morris. Last sign of defence, coming out to meet it there is Bryan. Ewington did well to help her out. Jumping on her is Morris. It'll be a throw up deep inside forward 50 for the Magpies, looking for their first goal near the square. Tap down from Ewington, falls out in the lap of Orton, but last sign of defence is Whelan, who will just hack a kick out. Anderson stood underneath it, tapping it out in front of herself. Probably got lost in the sun there momentarily. Flicked around in the hand pass was Bramich. She hand passes it out now to Johnson. Has a long way down to get that one, and ball will trickle out for a throw-in.
That'll be
last line, sorry. Or last touch, rather.
So Ahern will take over on centre wing. Just miscues the kick a little, though, and straight into the path of French, who chops that one off happily. We'll try and launch Wynyard back the other way. Stabs one. She also misses her target, though. Just rolls over the top. Kicked into space. Cavalry arrives. Oh, crunch. Hovington sent to the deck. It is Hardy who clattered into her. She's been throwing her weight around today, Hardy. He is a tough customer. This is a physical game of football. Humphreys will send Wynyard forward. Her kick almost intercepted by Saville. Broke it up. Davis now with 2 to contend with, and will do well just to lock it in for a ball up. Isabel Hardy, look at this. There's the first one. Hardy's about to come in now and return fire.
Bang.
There's the return fire on Hovington. Said, you come after my team, mate, I'll come after you. But all's fair, and she's been laying the smackdown a couple of times today, Isabella Hardy. Play back underway. Johnson with authority. Great piece of ruck work that. Diving on top is French. Into the ball up.
The ball up inside the forward 50 now. In the dying stages of this one, there might be a little bit of time on, but we'll see how he goes. Slang around in the tackle there is Patterson out in front of Davis. Ball lands in the lap of her. Shrugs her opponent. Waltzes in to the open goal. And Davis has 3. And that's the first of the term. Finally for the Cats. Davis has already got 3 after 7 last week. So you can do the maths. She's a known goal kicker down there. And again, that speed and shrug from Charlie Davis, just able to get away from her opponent in Neve Harding. Did well just to waltz into the open goal, had a lot of space on her, and then was able to fire the kick.
If the ball hits the deck in that matchup, she's got the toe on her, that's for sure. A couple of times just been able to burn away. Harding's been pretty good in the aerial contests. Davis with a definite speed advantage and just surged away again there. And she's thriving. The third of the afternoon. It's been impressive outing already, and Smith will send Wynyard forward once again. Tumbling bounce in the direction of Bramage, has some support coming. Smith will continue to run. Bramage can't get it to her though. In comes Saville, who spills out the back. Radford gathers, high ball towards the paint of 50, coming out at it, Patterson. Hardy again with some good body work. They scrap at ground level, coming away with it. Patterson sends a high ball, just having to sit underneath it was Parker, and Davis came from behind with the clean spoil. Did it well not to infringe. Clear and kick through the arms of Saville. Might be able to get the ball back if Ahern can work it to her. She can't escape. The clutches there. Radford will be a ball up instead. Inside the paint of 50, deep into quarter number 2. A handy lead here for Wynyard. Kicked the only goal of this quarter. Johnson fighting with Hodge. Says play on, ball skews out of bounds on the foot. Be Devonport to take back over off half back via Sarah Skinner.
Skinner. Had a couple of big collisions already. Skinner to drive them out of defence. Was a good kick. Spotted up a teammate. Now they're going to wheel and go. Try to the outer wing. Standing underneath it though. And in the way was Whelan. Picking it up now is Knight. She couldn't quite get anything on it. Whelan at the bottom of the pack. And tackle will be laid on Ahern. We'll see a ball up. Out of side.
So ladies and gentlemen, we just been allowed for the stretcher time. So apparently they've got a time manually over there in the scoreboard. So it's play on
No clue what is going on there. Yeah, might be a raffle or something going on up in the grandstands. But anyway, that'll spell the end of this first half. Devonport yet to score a goal. 0-1-1 to 4-2-26. I'm not quite sure what is happening. But anyway, your goal kick is Charlie Davis with 3. Ellie Moody with 1. Yet to score, obviously. Devonport, Skinner in a couple of big collisions.
Yeah, look, it's been a tough game. It's been a physical game. And Charlie Davis is the difference here at quarter time. 3 of her side's 4 goals, and they've just not had an answer to it. And the ball's hit the deck inside 50. The sheer speed she's had has been too much to contend with. It's been a matchup they've won, but she's also had a lot of service. The ball's been coming in there pretty readily. They've been on top around the stoppages. Devonport have had a couple of little periods, but you'd say 80% of the game. It's been played really on Wynyard's terms. It's been a tough, physical, bruising game, as you can see from these highlights. Been plenty of physicality, strong contests out there. It's been an entertaining game, but Wynyard just looking a bit too strong at halftime, bro.
Yeah, certainly, Drew. It's a 25-point lead going the way of the Cats. Second half action up next. We'll take a break, our major break of the stream. Stick around. It's Wynyard taking the lead by 25 points.
Everybody's welcome to join in for function there after the matches for our post-match presentations, and as we mentioned earlier, another one of our social functions on tonight, the Mitchell Gallo Club Ambassadors organised in beer pong. So you can get down and support that as well. Enjoy the second half, and we'll have the lights on shortly because we've got the feature match kicking off, as I mentioned, 5:30 under lights.
So we're back for the second half. It's Wynyard in command. 25 points their lead over Devonport at half time. It was a bruising first half of football. And Wynyard just showing a little bit too much for Devonport, who had their moments, but ultimately just haven't been able to get the ball forward enough. They've been back deep in defence for much of the contest, and a lot of that has started from the middle. Sophie Johnson has been absolutely outstanding in there, as has Olivia Smith, being marked by her opposite number, Mia Morris. And we'll see if that continues in the second half. Johnson not contesting this one. It was Radford in there for this hit out. Smith following up, and they'll look to charge forward off half-back here. Just a bit too much on the kick. Trying to reel it in there was Wells. Eventually gets boots the ball. High kick up to the middle of the ground. Nicely done by Parker. So can Devonport get an early goal here and spark something, heading really wide. It kick to a 2-on-1, so it still might work out. Just trying to use the boundary line to advantage. It was Ewington, and eventually it did spill over. Tossed back into play. Sarah Skinner just inspecting the football or something. All right with her. Back on we go. Tossed back into play. Anderson doing the ruck work. And the clearance came from Sarah Skinner. Floats in the direction of Knight. Seizing upon it, Bryan. She's just clean throwing that one. That's going to be holding the footy. A big win for Zoe Knight there. Probably too far out to score though, so she'll look to find a target here. Parker peeling out into a pocket of space for her. That's where she heads, and just put it over her head in the end. So a bit of a let off. Tuxworth burst to the ball, just goes off the deck. Battling away now with Parker. Boundary line looming. Some support comes from B. Wicks. He seizes the football, but then ran into a bit of trouble. Bryan brings her down. The umpire says, I'll have it.
Throw up out of side. Anderson in the ruck for Devonport. Tap down one by Wynyard. It was a good one. It was Radford in the ruck as we see this one bobble out. Nice tackle laid there from Morris. Ahern supplying a little bit of pressure, and Smith will be taking the tackle right on the arc of 50. Devonport Oval. Tap down from Radford. Anderson will rove it. Pick up there was good from Orton. Orton just got stripped of it, went back and got it though. Smith wearing her like a glove. Good tackle laid. Flicked the hand pass up. Orton, it was good, but standing underneath her, a couple of Wynyard jumpers. Orton again was in there. On all fours was Pay. See a ball up. Now inside forward 50. Hodge and Radford. Hodge, convincing tap down. Morris through the pack. Ball bobbles out now to Orton, right to the teeth of goal. It'll bounce off line and trickle out for a throw-in deep inside forward 50. Devonport still searching for their first goal. It might come in the third term. After kicking 138 points last week, they're held goalless heading into this second half. Ewington win the tap down. In there was Knight. Flicked the hand pass off and Smith cleared it out of the area. Still inside the forward 50. Has a little bit to do. Coming through was a Hearn. Bramich in there. Holding her was Saville. Saville taken in the tackle by Bramich.
Will be tossed up on the paint of 50. And ball came from Morris, but they're going to look to rebound back the other way, the Cats. That kick won't do the job, though. Straight to Georgia Anderson, who intercepts and then just got a little too close to the player on the mark there. Impacted the kick a tad. Sarah Skinner applying some pressure. Ahern bustling through. Morris in there as well, and they lock it in once more. Anderson just takes it out of the ruck herself and weaves through traffic. Anderson sets sails for home. It's bending back too far. Pitches, stays in play. Is it going to trickle over the line? It will. Almost a goal of the season contender there from Georgia Anderson. This was superb out of the ruck. Just snapped the heels of Ewington. Launched it from 45. But couldn't quite go the journey.
Wow, that was close. Ewington winning the tap down out to Smith. Here is Anderson again, being apprehended though. It was Parker, high up and under kick, actually lost ground for Devonport. Hardy at the bottom of this pack. Ahern lending a hand. Ball bobbles out now to Saville. She's laying on top of this one. Hardy will be taken in. Tackle, it'll be a ball up. 4-2-26 to 0-1-1. 25-point lead hasn't changed since that major break. Anderson tapping this one down. She might ruck and rove again. Tapped off, though, in the direction of Saville. Picking it up was French, and they'll go inside forward 50 once more. Ewington leading the charge. Bryan as well. Just left it behind. Stone kicking this one forward. Taken was Parker. Might end up with a football again, and met in a jam by two. White and blue Guernseys. Up down by Hodge. Parker just got a kick smother. Might have hit the schnoz of Ewington. Goes back and gets it. Umpire call that one a little bit more swiftly. It'll be a ball up.
Great work from Ewington there. Body on the line to prevent a goal as the Rucks battle again. Trying to shrug free his Parker, but locked in there by Whelan. A good start to the quarter for Devonport. Can they get a goal to show for it? They've spent a lot of time inside forward 50. Still just the solitary behind. Morris burrowing in after it. Can't extract the football. Skinner now a chance. Tried to sling it on the boot. Brilliant tackle. A goal saver there. Superbly done by Piper Humphreys. Just when it looked like Skinner was about to snap truly. Brilliant tackle. They scrap away again in front of goal. Morris on top of the football. Just handed it off. Snapped from their traffic by Orton. Slapped back into congestion. Three-player tackle there. Locks up French. They're turning the screws here, Devonport. Can they find a goal to show for it? Coming through was Harding. Kick to the top of the square. Spoiled by Whitmer. Whitmer on hands and knees. Oh, unable to gather Parker. She follows up. She grabs it. And has it locked in. Still they push. Still just the solitary behind to show for it. This has been really a sustained spell, but holding firm the Wynyard defence, and they look to clear it away once more. Tumbling bounce up towards Saville. Saville forces it back into a dangerous area. Almost Hodge, couldn't complete the mark. Morris fighting away for it, got the handball away. Trying to snap was Whitwer. That won't be 15. It'll be play on, slapped away by Whelan. Morris goes again. Morris is locked up again. This defence will not yield.
Very good call, Drew. They just didn't give up in the end. Ball up again in the teeth of goal. Tap down there from Hodge. Spinning out of trouble was Knight, but couldn't quite get the kick to the teeth of goal. And happy to sock up that one over rather was Mia Morris. So they get their first score since the first quarter to Devonport. So out of fullback now, the Cats. It's been trapped in this forward 50 for the Magpies. What can they produce to go end-to-end? Johnson stands underneath this one. Couldn't quite reel the mark in. In was Anderson with the ball in hand is French. Should be taken in the tackle, and we'll do it all again. This is the spot that Anderson nearly kicked goal of the year. And she do it again. She won't. It'll be Johnson tapping this one down out in front of Radford. Couldn't quite pick it up. Had a couple to deal with. Skinner as well. She could pick it up cleanly and ducked the head and dived. Orton. And a warrior today, Sarah Skinner. She's copped a lot. Anderson and Johnson. Johnson spiking out Radford. Couldn't quite get it. Wicks. Smothered from Tuxworth. Hardy lends a hand. In there was Humphries. She ran into a little bit of a Sarah Skinner jam. Umpire called ball up. Strong tackle laid. So another ball up. No goals yet in this term. Tap down from Johnson. Skinner roving it out in front of Smith. Just left it behind at the crucial minute. Anderson will bomb along one inside forward 50. Here's an opportunity if they can get it. Morrison, Brian does well just to pick it up. Flick the hand pass off. Had some support in Stone. Out it bobbles to Whitwer for goal. And it will go for a behind.
Well, they're throwing the kitchen sink right now, Devonport, but they just can't find a goal to show for it. They've dominated the opening 9 minutes of this quarter. I don't think Wynyard have gone forward of centre. But just a pair of behinds to show for it. Credit to this Wynyard defence. It's been rock solid, under siege. And they look to clear defensive 50 here. Johnson the target. Anderson's really lifted this quarter. Couldn't quite reel that one in. And now Radford will send it down the other way. Launches a long ball. It's opening up for Patterson here. Slides in to take the mark.
Great mark.
Really well to control that, did Alana Patterson. Thought her way through it. Flick the handball to Johnson. Why not? Usually a good user. This is no exception. Or dropping what she had there was Davis. It'll be tossed up. Had 90% of it, but just couldn't complete it. Spills at the last second. Good call from the umpire. Anderson out of the ruck and take it cleanly. Ground level. Compass slapped it, but to the opposition. Going off the deck, Hovington didn't really collect it as she would have liked. Dancing through traffic, Cleaver, but she coughed it up to O'Halloran. O'Halloran to Smith, who wants one for getting clobbered in the head. The umpire says nothing doing. Ball comes out the back here. Here's Ewington through traffic, got it to Humphries. Now the Johnson. Johnson steers it inside 50. Now it's the Devonport defence under pressure. Can they hold firm? On the bottom of this one is B. Wicks. Looking a little bit sore. And they force a stoppage.
Hot stuff. Really hot stuff in this third term. No goals to show for it, though. Johnson again winning this tap down out in front of French. She'll go right to the top of the goal. It's bouncing to the goal line. Davis could have impacted it, but the only thing she could do is knee it over the line. It was Smith with that attempt on goal. So streaming out of fullback now, the Magpies. High kick out, but only as far as Smith again. She's been good, has the skipper. Beyond her distance, you would have thought, so she's going to run around the opponent on the mark, sells a little bit of candy, mesmerise them all. Olivia Smith right to the teeth of goal. Nearly taking the mark was O'Halloran, and Magpies live to see another day with a kick out wide. Saville it was intended for. Radford spilling the beans. Smith again flicking the hand pass off. Dancing out of trouble there was French. Dances around one. Kick just got smothered out in front of Radford again. The impossible angle. Sizes up the goals. Does Radford nearly. It misses just across the face of goal. It'll be a behind. A lot happening
Almost. Olivia Smith really starting to lift for Wynyard these last few minutes. The premier players of this competition and starting to exert her influence on this one. We saw Radford moments ago able to do the business from the angle. She's stripped of the football here. In support is Knight. Knight skips clear and then sends it up the wing. Floating ball through the hands of Ahern. Battling away there with Stone. Ahern tough in and under all day and she locks that one in there. Anderson and Johnson to contest the ruck. Johnson with the height advantage. Anderson an impressive leap on her, but the height wins out on this occasion. Won it, however, straight to Knight. Knight's kick towards the half-forward line, just towed forward there by Hodge. Harding got a free kick there. She does. It'll be Pay. So Pay, wide ball for French, floated on there towards O'Halloran. Wells. Well, the kick went the wrong way. Floated backwards, and that might invite some danger. Just trying to bust through his Piper Humphreys. Gets boot to ball and finds a target in Davis. Piper Humphreys just fought through. And Davis has looked dangerous all afternoon. She'll go back and try and kick her fourth, or perhaps she'll pass off instead. She did, but that was broken up, so Devonport defence able to absorb some pressure here. Kicks wide. Won't find the boundary line though. Bradford gets clattered into after she kicked. Unable to control was Wiley, but lays a strong tackle on Bramich. Play continues into the forward line now for Wynyard. Some work for Compass to do. On hands and knees, they scrap away for it. Spills out towards Knight. Parker was there, and eventually they clear it to midfield. And presenting up the football nicely was Ahern, as Parker riding shotgun, but then just left it behind for her. Ahern forced into a block, and then a little bit scrappy. It all comes unstuck there. Smith able to interject. She wins the ball back. Just a little untidy there on a counter-attack with Devonport. It'll be tossed up in the middle of the ground.
And what a brilliant hand pass from Ahern. I could see what she was trying to do to get a little bit of speed on the ball, but didn't quite hit. As Johnson taps it down out in front of Humphreys. Had a good game last week, tapping onto herself a couple of times. Hardy was happy to supply the shepherd, but it wasn't needed. Kicks it out. So Humphreys has a little bit of time, just bobbling it, but eventually gets there. Johnson stands underneath this one. Nice use of the body on Hodge. Maybe a hand or two in the back, but I think it might be Wiley that was down before, maybe. I'm not too sure. They're calling for something, but hot start, or hot end it will be. We've seen a couple of big collisions out there. Skinner, Moody. Just trying to think. Might be Wiley. Yeah, she did lay there for a while, but we'll wait till we can confirm that. Goal kickers, Charlie Davis with 3 and Moody with 1 who's gone off, and still yet to score a goal. Devonport in 3 quarters of football, so they'll regroup now. It's been hot in the kitchen in this game at Devonport Oval. Of a bit of carnage, a bit of feeling in it. It's been an entertaining game, even though the scoreboard doesn't quite say so. Only 4 goals to speak of. It has been hot, and it's been courageous football, that's for sure, as they've put their bodies on the line today. Both teams, 24 points the margin.
It was a long time after the initial incident. We about to see Ava Wiley here coming off worse for wear. She was down after this contest, and play went on for another couple of minutes afterwards. Eventually it was brought down, so you can see in some pain there. So fingers crossed for Wiley, the latest to join the casual list. It has been a very bruising game of football.
Just remind me who the other lady was for Devonport. I mean, said 2 down, I think now.
Gillard off as well.
Yeah.
Johnson will take over in the middle of the ground and will get us back underway for the final moments of this quarter. Play able to resume, but third stoppage for injury. You never like to see that. We've seen a bit too much of it. We've loved how physical the game's been. Unfortunately, just a couple of injuries. Not they were intentional or anything, but Smith now, handball out the back. Will be one. Smith looming again. She's absolute star. That one will be locked in. Tossed out just inside 450 for Wynyard, who absorbed a lot of pressure in the opening 10 minutes of this quarter and got themselves on top in the tail end of it. Hard to believe there hasn't been a goal this quarter. This has been pretty action-packed.
Only the one behind, or one behind for Wynyard rather, and two for Devonport. As this one's tapped down by Johnson, out in front of Compers. Compers left it behind, and we'll see another ball up. It was Parker in the tackle. So, long left in the term. It bobbles out now to French. French's kick just got overturned, and they'll go out through the middle of the ground. Anderson's moved down forward. Stone coming this one, and there is the siren. So no goals this term. A little bit of scrappy football went down into the Devonport end for a solid 7 or 8 minutes, and then the rest of it, it was all Wynyard. They've scored 4 goals, 3 this game. 3 to Davis and 1 to Moody, and of course yet to score Devonport. So scrappy stuff. I mean, hard to not to really put a clear thing on why they haven't been able to score. Maybe just the polish inside forward 50 for Devonport, and I mean that effort was good from Anderson rather, but that's been scrappy stuff. The pressure's been on in both defensive 50s, and they've and both defensive 50s held up well that quarter. Drew, with obviously no goals.
I'll give immense credit to the Wynyard defence in the first 10 minutes there. It was living deep down there. Devonport were doing a good job winning the ball back. Doing well in the aerial contest and getting repeat inside 50s. Just felt like it was going to lead to a goal. It surely had to lead to one, but they just couldn't take advantage of that period in the ascendancy. Then Wynyard got right back on top. Olivia Smith was dominant in the tail end of that quarter. They also couldn't find a goal to show for it, but have a 24-point lead to take into the final change. They'll be pretty comfortable with the way things are sitting. We'll be back shortly with the final term here. Wynyard by 4 goals.
French dances around one. Kick just got smothered out in front of Radford again.
Wrong way. Floated backwards, and that might invite some danger. Just trying to bust through his Piper Humphreys. Gets boot to ball and finds a target in Davis. Piper Humphreys wide. Won't find the boundary line though. Radford gets clattered into after she kicked. Unable to control was Wiley, but lays a strong tackle on Bramich. Play continues. Oh, get out. Get the hell out of here. Better off not going. Better off not going. But they're much better. Easy listen. We still have give it a smooth jazz goal at half time. Just like playing with himself. Alright, Kevin. Love that. Smooth jazz. Nice games. Alrighty, Ash, fade her out. So welcome back. Well, the final term, Devonport Oval. It's Wynyard with a commanding lead as we turn for the final quarter of action. Wynyard 27-3 their lead, but Devonport probably the better side in the third quarter, just couldn't put it on the scoreboard. You regain control of proceedings late on in what has been a fairly bruising and physical encounter. Unfortunately, we've lost 3 players to injury already today. We saw Sarah Skinner cop a nasty fall as well, and looked like she's starting on the ball in this final term, so might be a 4th player injured. Unfortunately, it's been that sort of a game, a bruising contest indeed, as we're underway for the final time, and Smith, who's been outstanding as per usual, sends a Wynyard forward here. Couldn't quite find Hardy on this occasion, who's been the forefront of so much of that physicality, trying to step through the tackle as Smith can't do so. Toss it up again. Johnson and Anderson. Anderson does well, gets the better on this occasion. She really lifted in that third term, Anderson. One of the side's instrumental players in helping them get on top. Of course, didn't ultimately lead to a goal, much to their frustration, but much better quarter they'll be looking to build on here. As they look to go forward here, Knight just got a kick away. Ahern won't be able to get to this one though, as it's worked over the top by Whelan. And then Smith charging forward, going off the deck was Johnson. Didn't get much purchase on that kick, and it's cleared away by B. Wicks. Now a chance for Knight to send Devonport forward, but taking front position commandingly was Ewington. She charges off half back and runs an absolute mile. And the umpire says that is way too far. Pings her. It'll be a free kick for Devonport. You can get away with a few extra metres. I don't think you can get away with running 25 by.
So Hodge now to send them inside forward 50. Looks like the lights might just be setting place here at Devonport. A high kick inside forward 50. Out the back was Brian. Humphries kicking it out in front of her, and she'll pick this one up, and Ahern will take a little bit of pressure on her. In fact, tackling her. Ewington out in front of Smith. A couple of big collisions again. Stone with one-handed pick up, but ran herself into some trouble. Got the hand pass away in the nick of time. In there is Ewington and Morris. Morris as well, and Hay at the bottom of this pack will be wrapped up, and we'll do it all again here. Another ball up. A couple of stoppages. Skinner in the ruck. Ewington didn't even try to contest that. Skinner off now tonight. Her kick wasn't great. Out in front of Orton. Orton now tonight. This for their first today, looking forward. Hodge nearly taking the mark. Great defensive stuff there by Whelan. And I was going to say, if that's not high, I don't know what is. And Kelsey Ahern takes her opponent. Hodge nearly taking the mark. Great defensive stuff there by Whelan. No, Brian, sorry, high. So free kick going the way of Bryant.
Great defence again from Whelan in the one-on-one. She and Ewington have been absolute pillars back there today for Wynyard. The reason they've been able to deny Devonport a goal, but they're looking threatening again here because they've turned that straight over to Aspen Orton, who just pumps it right back to a hot spot, but again, it's going to be shut down. There's Brian behind the football, a safe pair of hands. Shuts down another dangerous moment and floats one out. There is Ewington, just forces it forward to French. French skips around to Anderson. Morris almost got it, just got boot to ball. Handball back around from O'Halloran. Trying to bust through a couple was French, but plenty of numbers there surrounding it for Devonport to lock that one in.
Anderson winning this step down, only as far as Parker, who's taken in the tackle, but got the ball away just in the nick of time. Picking it up there is French, but only as far as Wicks intercepted, and Skinner will go again. High up and under kick out in front of Knight. A couple of foot chases on Knight. Just apprehended by Tuxworth. Didn't do enough though. Picking this one up and clearing, and I think was Whelan. Will kick it to the outer wing. A couple of big key forwards come out to meet it. Davis was there, and a kick out of the area was good. It ends up in the hands of Skinner, who's been pretty good today, considering a lot of big clashes. Morris stood underneath it well. Didn't know she was quite going to get there in the nick of time, but did. Stuck the 2 mitts out and got the mark. So Morris from outside 50. It's a low traceable at kick out in front of Whitwer. Whitwer socket off the ground. This for the first. Whitwer gets a goal. A bit of soccer skill in the final term from Taylor Whitwer. They finally get that goal that they've been missing in the first of the term. So 139 now to 4-3-27. 18 points the margin. Whitwer did well just to get a foot on it in the nick of time.
It was a very classy finish. She had a long way to go still. It was a good 25-30 out. Realised that if she kind of bent down and gathered the ball, she was probably going to get tackled. So the best option was just thump it off the deck, and she caught this sweet. This is a pure finish from her, and important that they got some reward for all their play down there. They've dominated the opening minutes of this quarter, as they did the first half of the third term, but couldn't find a goal. Now they get something to show for it. Back within 18 points, and they're going forward again here via Skinner. They kick another one. This gets real interesting real fast. Skinner, though, had an unkind bounce, then turned into trouble. She's got to be gone. Advantage will be paid. Smith, she ran into trouble herself. Oh, and she's a bit lucky there, Smith. Well, that to me looked like the advantage was opted to be taken. She's haired off with the football, and the umpire rather kindly has brought it back. So ball back to the middle of the ground. Knight. Johnson brings her down. They've been not really in this game, apart from the second quarter, where Wynyard really made their move and put it on the scoreboard. It's been a good battle out there. Skinner with another clearance. Bring it away. There's limited options on the bench. That looked like a push there on Bryan. Nothing doing, and then she gets caught over the shoulder. That one will be called. Morris slinging around the neck there. Might have got away with the first one. Was not going to get away with this one.
Clear as day, that one, I would have thought. So, kick down the line, but only as far as Skinner has been pretty good. And there is Sarah Skinner, but it goes over the head of Saville. The kick was just a bit too hot for her, and collecting the body was Whelan. Saville still not giving in. That was a good contest there. Umpire let it play out, which was good. Working the phone booth. Bryan with a hat kick out, and eventually support comes by way of Humphreys, who again has been pretty good this evening. Humphreys with a kick into the corridor. Coming out to meet it was Compass. Compass as well, and Tuxworth. Compass will finally get the football. He called her name. I called her name 2 times. He didn't even touch it, so we'll get this one balled up again, and we'll go near the 50. Bryan just got, or French rather, got the hand pass away. Umpire said not in the nick of time. So Skinner, true centre half back, sizing up the options. High kick will float, and Ewington out the back. This is dangerous areas. Whitwer, we know she can soccer it. Didn't get there in the time. Stone does well, picks the hand pass off and goes again. Stone, that's brilliant, off to Humphreys. This is good ball movement here from Wynyard. Humphreys right to the teeth of the 50. Coming out to meet it here is Davis. Has a bit of time and space and shrugs one tackle, shrugs the other. Davis can waltz in to get the dagger. Davis right to the teeth, nearly sliding in. Here is Patterson. Brilliant stuff, end to end for Wynyard. And that ball movement is some of the best we've seen today. Davis, again, doing the unselfish thing. We spoke about her earlier, Drewy, how she's an unselfish player. Could have fired for goal. Didn't quite get there. And she will say she centered it to a teammate in Patterson. So she gets her first, Alana Patterson. Good ball movement there from the Cats.
Yeah, it started with Stone and half back, took the game on, did really well, got free of a tackle, and then through the corridor they went, and a little bit of fortune there for Alana Patterson on the line as defender just went flying past the ball. She got a hand in there just to bring it to ground and was able to steady. So that'll be the sealer for Wynyard, just putting paid to any hopes of a miraculous comeback here for Devonport is locked in there. They've been better side in this final term. Devonport, as Wynyard's first real threatening moment. They take full advantage. Smith's clearance was charged down. Anderson tumbles it around the corner. It's a dangerous looking ball in the direction of Hodge. Will it tip for her? It does eventually. Has some support. Fired out the handball. Went back and got it. Hodge squaring ball 2 to beat for Morris. Spoiled. Got a fair bit of the player. It's on in the goal line. Eventually it's going to be held up. A crunching tackle laid by Knight. There on Brian.
I don't reckon she knew she got rid of the ball there, and Mia Morris's opponent. Kept going.
It's certainly on in the square there. So another opportunity. One down by Hodge. Skinner has been very busy in this last quarter, but that was charged down by Stone. Her second really good defensive effort in the last couple of moments. Skinner fighting on after copping a brutal tackle that left her stunned earlier in the match. See her recovering. Had a lot of the ball in this final quarter. Devonport knocking on the door again here. Hodge back against Ewington. Neither able to get decisively. Ewington locks it in again. They are knocking right on the door here. Wynyard defence has been fantastic in this second half. Knight trying to shrug free, but again, there's just no room to manoeuvre.
Another throw up. Edging so close to goal. Ewington sapping this one now, the advantage is Smith. She goes to Humphreys. Humphreys dances round one and then runs in herself into a little bit of Orton trouble. Good tackle there. I don't know what she's complaining about.
She got hand of the ball, which I thought she did too.
Fair enough.
I thought she did too, to be honest. She certainly believes it. She couldn't believe she'd been pinged for it. But this will be a reward for sustained effort if they don't get it.
So Orton now looking for her first of the day. For the second goal, they cut it back to 24. Orton gives it a fair old roost, but they drift across the face of goal. Through behind. Yeah, probably fair enough, yep. I'll go back on my call, and I think that was probably a hand pass Drew.
So,
didn't see it first. But
really? I thought the replay I was wrong, and the umpires made a good call.
Might have got rid of it. Might have got rid of it. I think maybe the ricochet from the hand when she tackled.
It definitely went back on her own head. Anyway, I can see why it went that way. She was very insistent. Yeah, might have handballed it into herself.
Yeah.
Anyway, not going to matter too much in the grander scheme of things. Who'd be an umpire? Damn tough job as this one spills out the way of Wicks. Certainly appreciate those who do it. So he's a tough sport to officiate. The umpire will have this one here. 23 points to lead for Wynyard. Anderson unopposed and just slaps it forward. Trying to burrow through his Orton. Johnson locks it in. Compete with Anderson again. Anderson winning that one. Smith burrowing in after it, but Orton locks it in once more. Rucks negate each other on that occasion. Smith, third successive time on the bottom of her pack, and again going nowhere. Your side, Olivia Smith on the bottom of her pack. Tough as they come. Such an excellent ball winner. Anderson just has really got better and better in the ruck contest as this game has worn on. Johnson had a number in that first quarter, but I've been really impressed with the way she's responded.
Yeah, I think so. Good ruckman. Can drift down forward as well. Looks like she's a good overhead mark as Johnson gets the leap on her. Orton left it behind and got high up and under kick in front of her. And she knew if she took it, she might have got tackled. And ball bobbles out of bounds. I think it might be a free kick going the way of the Magpies. Kelsey Ahern notched up 100 games a couple of weeks ago. As they go inside forward 50. Hodge just spilt the beans at the wrong time. It was a good lead out. Back to Parker. Parker with the kick inside forward 50 in the Skinner direction. Just overrunning it. Knight. In there was Ewington. Skinner had her for company. And it'll be a ball up. Knight taking her opponent in pain. A strong tackle. Edging closer to the goal. Not that it really matters too much. It's a 23-point lead. Skinner out of the pack. Will chuck this on the right boot and hope for the best, but they come. And Mark do. Wynyard with a kick out of defence. Only as it was for O'Halloran, who just spilt the beans on all fours was Harding. Hardy with a strong bump on Ahern. Skinner. Humphreys gets the clearing kick into the corridor. Coming out to meet it, though, was Harding. Tries to lay the tackle there on French, and out of zone umpire calls for a free kick. I think against. It might have been legging, maybe to French.
This one's sent wide by French. Cleanest ball use, but Tuxworth has some time. Now doesn't, because Morris closes it down and locks it in. Well done there. Now Morris is fought on for the final few minutes of this one. Wynyard be victorious, but Devonport will take positives from this game. Sarah Skinner has been enormous in this last quarter. Sends it inside the forward 50 once again. Cleared away by Stone. Ahern just whacks it inside forward 50. Volleyed clear up towards the middle of the ground. Just looking at the ball there, a tad was Saville. Let the opposition in. Killed around the corner, trying to find it to Bramage. Couldn't quite. Numbers now with the Magpies. Anderson gathers and just guides one out wide into the path of Skinner. It'll sit for her. Skinner with time. Closed down now by Stone, but sends him inside 50 again. This time straight to Finlay Bryan, who has been a rock in defence for Wynyard. Has shut down plenty of attacks. Might have another one to shut down in a second here, but Johnson won a key contest. Got it up over the top. Couldn't find a target. Busting back the other way, Harding. Thumps it inside the forward 50. Getting a hand in the path was Ewington. And there is the final siren, which brings an end to an entertaining contest. Wynyard win this one by 23 points, but they certainly didn't have it all their own way. I reckon the inside 50 count would have been very close at the end. They did all the damage in quarter number 2, but for much of the second half, they've got their defence to thank for this one. They were outstanding under pressure. Devonport fought on, fought well, but they just couldn't find the answers inside 50 this afternoon. An entertaining contest. Wynyard did enough early on to take the points back.
Yeah, especially in that first half. I mean, Wynyard, they stood up. Devonport really didn't have a crack. They scored 1 point to three-quarter time. Or probably, I think in the third quarter, they were still at only 1 point to speak of. So, I mean, their defence held up all game. I mean, the start of the attack was obviously the focal point for Wynyard going forward, and then their defence, when it got on, when Devonport decided to come back, they were sound in defence as well. Good all around the park. I mean, a couple of injuries in that game, so hopefully everyone comes out of that okay, especially Ella Moody and Gillard, as well as Wiley. So hopefully those three ladies are all good and aren't too sore after this. I mean, it was a hot and contested game, that's for sure. And I mean, what else could we ask for? It's been good bringing it to 23 points, the win from Wynyard. Stick around, we've got another game coming up soon, but it's bye for now.
Representing Devonport, and thank you very much for that.